So I've just finished Spider-Man 2, and I want to talk to you guys today a little bit about the game. Now, I'm not going to dive into spoilers. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the overall points of the game that I enjoyed, where I felt like I was wrong, and where I think Insomniac may go next. But we're not going to really dive into spoilers. I spent the whole day yesterday playing, the whole day today playing, just trying to finish the main story. And my initial thoughts are that this game, Spider-Man 2, is potentially the greatest superhero game that I have ever played in my life. And I would go as far as to say that it is the greatest superhero ever, if not for the Arkham series. I think I need to let this game digest a bit more for me before I make such a statement. Although eventually I think it will be number one. I just needed to digest it a bit more and let a little bit more time pass. But this game, my initial thoughts is amazing. The greatest superhero game ever, possibly. But just to dive into some of the things that I thought were really good about the game was obviously the gameplay, the swinging. It was just awesome. It was an improvement from the first game and even Miles Morales. It built on that. It felt so much faster. It felt so much fluid. I thought the web wings were going to be something that I didn't enjoy, something that I didn't like, but it gets you thinking and makes you more innovative with your swinging and makes you try new things. And I just thought that it was so cool. One of my favorite features regarding the gameplay and swinging is being able to hook onto two buildings at a time, pulling yourself back and then slingshotting your Spider-Man and picking up on speed. That's one of my favorite things to do. I saw Tobey Maguire do it so many freaking times during his Spider-Man movies, and I was bummed when the first game didn't have that, but this one having it just, it took it up a level. Those little details take it up a level. The combat also felt more centered. There was less gadgets, I feel like, but the gadgets that we did have were impactful. They were potent, and with access to the symbiote suit and with access to Miles Morales' other abilities, it balanced out very well, and it was also an improvement. Now, again, without diving into any deep spoilers, this is just like an overview. The story of the game, in my opinion, just my personal opinion, was more enjoyable than the first Spider-Man game and more enjoyable than Miles Morales. This, to me, is the best story that Insomniac has made regarding Spider-Man. Maybe not as emotional, which those two are different things to me. I think the first one was more emotional. It had me in tears, had me crying, had me in my feelings. This one almost got me there, but it really didn't. But just the overall story was so over the top, so cool. Seeing so many different characters, my mind just being blown, the explosions that were going on around the game, the set pieces that they made. It was just something completely different than the first two games. The story, it keeps pushing and pushing the universe that Insomniac is building forward, introducing so many different people. It's expanding the world so much. I did not think that the game was I knew the game was going to be good. I didn't think it was going to be this great, this all-time great. I mean, it's amazing. One thing that I did mention in a previous video regarding Spider-Man was that I had a problem with it being too playable Spider-Man, just because I felt like it wasn't going to be as emotional. I enjoy Peter Parker more than I do Miles Morales, and I don't have anything against Miles, but I just love and prefer Peter more. So I wanted to keep playing as Peter. I didn't want to be switching. I didn't want to upgrade 2 skill trees. That was one of the main concerns that I had, but I should never have had that concern. Insomniac absolutely knows what they're doing, and it didn't feel forced. It felt so smooth. It felt balanced. Every single character that you play as got their moment. You get enough time with Peter. You get enough time with Miles. There was parts in the story where I'm getting my ass beat as Peter, and I'm wondering, where the hell is Miles? Like, I want Miles here to come help me out. At so many points throughout the story, I'm thinking, where's Miles? Not because he wasn't present, but just on a personal level, I kept thinking, I want to play as Peter. But then the game started, and I get to experience both of the Spider-Man that I want to play as both. That I'm thirsty to see both of them in action. I want them to help each other. And it completely blew my mind, and it put a smile on my face, and I'm happy to be playing as Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and as Spider-Man, Miles Morales. And we'll see where it goes, man. I'm really happy with both of their performances. I'm really happy with the way that all of the characters were balanced out. And to sidetrack real quick, you also play as MJ.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
during this game like you did last time, but this time it was better. At first, I was a little bit like, oh, damn it, here we go again. I hated the MJ missions, but this time you have a gun. This time you have a gun and you can move around pretty damn quick and take people out much quicker than you could before. And she's just almost unrealistically, in my opinion. Like, I think you have these hunters that are trained and that are killing people, doing all this stuff, and then you have MJ coming out here with her little gun and her leather jacket, and she's just kicking ass. Not super realistic, but very fun nonetheless. And another thing that I did not expect from the game, I thought the game was going to be a little bit more focused on the villains that they were going to use, but there was so much fan service. And I'm talking seeing so many different villains engage in ways that I wouldn't have thought they'd engage, seeing characters that I didn't even think I was going to see in the game. I'm not going to go any deeper than that, but I saw some characters I was like, what? Wow. What the hell? Like, it gave me reactions. It was shocking. It was amazing. And if you can avoid spoilers for this game and you just hop in and you play it for like the weekend, if you experience it the first time through the game, holy crap. I'm not going to say anything much about that, but there is so much fan service in this game. It is absurd. I saw stuff that I did not think I was going to see. I'm like a kid. You know what it reminded me of? Those like early 2000 games that you had with Marvel, like where you get to play as a superhero like a Hulk or a Spider-Man or the X-Men or something, and then there's a bunch of heroes that come out and help you out and you fight against each other. It felt like that. I felt like a kid. I felt like I was a kid playing Spider-Man, playing a superhero game. It felt like an older fan servicey game. I was a kid playing this. I mean, it truly took me back to another time, and I loved that it did that. And again, won't go into spoilers, but I know I talked a little bit about this, but I just enjoyed really playing as both Spider-Man and Miles Morales. They both have their arcs. They're both in the story. They both contribute so much. We get to play as other characters that I did not expect to play as either. It is pretty mind-blowing when that happens. Again, more fan service, giving the fans what they want. Even when you didn't think that's what you wanted, they're giving you what you want. It was insane. Some of the characters that you play with and the battles and the fights that you do as those characters. Again, very, very cool stuff. And another thing that I'd like to mention is the villains in the game were brutal, savages, powerful, but the main villain that was marketed, of course, Venom and Kraven. Kraven the Hunter. He's one of the most savage villains that I have ever faced in gaming, and one of the most savage villains that I've ever faced in any superhero game ever. And he might potentially, I'm gonna say he might, big potentially be my favorite superhero villain in any game that I've played, because he blew it and knocked it out of the park. There was a fight scene against Kraven the Hunter that I won't go too deep into, but as we're fighting him, he's saying so many things at you, talking, speaking, why he's doing what he's doing, what he wants, what he expects. That damn fight gave me goosebumps as he was talking, because he was just so savage. Every single time that he appeared on the screen, he stole the screen from me. His presence felt big, his presence felt powerful, and there wasn't an inch of fear in that man's eyes like ever. And I really like that. It threw me for a curveball, threw me for a loop, because I wasn't so sold on Kraven the Hunter being the villain for Spider-Man 2, but after his performance, I just gotta shut my mouth again. I mean, it was so damn good. And lastly, here to close off the video, because I don't want to keep on ranting, and really this is kind of us just having a conversation, a discussion. If you want to talk more about the game, you can down in the comments below and we can chit chat about it. But I'll close with this. I know that Insomniac has a big future plan for Spider-Man, for its superhero universe, because again, they have that Avengers Tower in New York. They have Doctor Strange and Wong in New York. We know Daredevil was somewhere around in New York. Wolverine is coming out here very soon, because they shifted towards getting Wolverine ready and all that stuff. The universe within Spider-Man is just growing, and there's a little cameo at the very end of the game. I'm not gonna say anything spoilery, but of another potential webhead that may be joining the fight in New York, and it's just like they're going all out. I heard they listen to the fans. I've heard that this game is made by fans, and in all honesty, I see it. Insomniac currently is one of the best studios out there, easily. Sony once again just dropped a massive story, a great story, one of the best stories of the year. This is my favorite game of the year so far. And like I said, Insomniac has big plans for their superhero universe, and I wish we could almost get it a little bit quicker so we could see what else is going on, what other plans they have. But this type of delivery, this type of beautiful storytelling, this type of powerful storytelling, this type of great game, all-time great game takes time. So Insomniac, take as much time as you need. I cannot wait to see what you do with Wolverine. So those are my initial thoughts of Spider-Man 2. Mind you, I just completed the game about an hour ago. Hell, probably like 35 minutes ago. And I just sat here, wrote down some bullet points I wanted to talk to you guys about my initial thoughts. What you can expect for the remainder of the week is probably a couple more videos just going a little bit more into the story and actually spoiling some stuff. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested. Let me know what you think so far about the game. Now I'll get to wait another couple years before the next one. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll catch you in the next video.